Making $91 trading the NASDAQ. Oh, what could have been? What could have been a nice trade here? We'll get into. I'm not going to complain with making money. Let's just start off there. But I'm going to do in this video is I want to recap the NASDAQ trade from yesterday, because it was yesterday, and there was a whatever was going on for about a 24-hour period that trade blocker accounts were not syncing with TradeZella. They are now syncing up with TradeZella, so we're good to go. I contacted them, and everything is back to TradeZella. Honestly, not gonna lie, not even like honestly, their support is awesome. They work on the problems and bugs super fast. I'm so happy. Like, I am so happy to pay them every year to track my trades. And I'm not even saying that to like plug them hard and be like, oh my God, they're not, they're good. They're good. Okay. And I like data, man. I appreciate good data. So when my data is not syncing, I'm like, whoa, we got a problem. We have a problem because I need my data. Okay. I got my data. So here we are. So yesterday there was a Tesla trade, and then there were these NASDAQ trades. You're like, oh my God, dude, 4 trades. What the fuck are you doing? No, there really was 2. But it was also based off of 1. So I'm going to get into that in a second, and I'll walk you through what went down and how it all happened. Tesla trade recap is up on the channel yesterday, so go check it out if you want to. And kind of a similar situation here. At the end, I'm going to live go into both of the prop firms that I'm using. This is traded on just one of them. The Tesla trade was on the other one. So I'll show you guys that so you can see where the current accounts are at and all that stuff. And kind of an update on that stuff. And we're getting very close to funding on one of them. But yeah. So NASDAQ, what's going on? Why was I looking at it? What was my plan and all that stuff? By the way, booking is looking very, very good. Very nice trade there. I'm booking from a couple of days back. Okay, there might be a trade recap coming on booking tomorrow if that hits take profit today. Big picture, big picture. Now, there was just a transfer or a transition to new, to the next, I guess, expiration or whatever date. But either way, disregard today, because today's kind of irrelevant. Really look at the past couple, right? We had a push up, pulled in, and then a little bit of a consolidation here. You can kind of tell, right? Now, this is on a daily time frame. So I'm like, okay, let me zoom in. 4-hour time frame. All right. 1 hour. All right. We got a little bit of a consolidation there. Can we get a pop? Can we get a break? So we did, and we started to push out towards the higher end of this range, and that would be a new all-time high in the NASDAQ. So I'm like, okay, we got maybe a potential momentum, right? We are strong, higher lows, higher highs, a couple of, hours or a couple of days of consolidation. Good. If we break that consolidation, I want to play. Can I get a setup on that? And I did. Check out this setup. So what I saw was this right here. And prior to these candles and stuff over here, I already see this, and I'm like, okay, here we go. We get the break of this line, we're in. That's what I did, and that was trade number 1. So trade number 1, if I go back to TradeZella, was these two right here, the 1046, 141, and 53. This is on the larger, the 25K account, and this is on a 6K account. As of right now, there is no copier for Trade Locker. Hopefully it's coming soon for the copier that I want to use. They're apparently in the works, but as of right now, I have to manually do it. Not a huge deal, but I was able to manually get close to the same entry. And I just played with whatever that is, like 1/3 the position size about, give or take. And that was how I did it. This one, similar situation. My entry was actually better on the second trade, or I guess the smaller account, because it did drop a little bit before I was able to get in. So it ends up skewing the risk reward a little bit, but I tried to get in within a minute on that one. These two apparently, well, no, this one I had put a buy stop order, so they got filled at the same time. This one I marketed in because at this point in time we had broken out, and I'll show you that in a second. So takeaway here is simple. The trade that I took was get in on the break here, so I did. Stop loss under the low of the consolidation. So the low of the consolidation, if you were to look back in time, and I zoom this bad boy in, was this little wick right here, which just so happens to be 19,739 roughly. What ended up happening was we broke out technically, and then we undercut that wick by literally a couple of ticks, or like 1 or 2 ticks, literally like close. It was the difference of, had I just maybe like put my stop loss, like, eyeballed it a little bit lower, like literally without even thinking of this, instead of putting it like exactly at where the spot was, if I put it a couple ticks lower, just kind of by accident or by eyeballing it, that would have been the difference of staying in. And in this case, these trades going back down here, going back to this, not losing, but pretty much making this. So we would have been maybe up $200 to $300 to, let's just say 250 isn't an even number, up 250 without the losses. Like that was the difference, literally, between what ended up happening and what could have been. So it was still a profitable, $91, whatever the number was, but could have been more. Which is kind of like, but this is a great lesson on risk management, in my opinion. In the past, I would not do this. I wouldn't have a system for this. So here's the system, or here's what I did. Then we break out, and I'm like, oh shit, get in. So I get in on that break. I market buy in. Eventually, within 15 minutes, targets are hit, whatever the numbers are, boom. Now, my target was not that high. Let me just adjust this really quick. It was just shy of a 2-to-1. So maybe like 1.75, 1.8 to 1. So it ended up getting filled on this candle here, and it went way higher, which is amazing to see. Great momentum like that. I didn't scale out. Something I can maybe work on better, I've been saying, but when I get a target that hits like that, great. How I know for sure, though, that it was okay in my book is this, because I'm all about the longevity of this. Because, there have not been a lot of days where we get a trend this good on a breakout like that. There have not been. So how do I know what's going to happen? You don't. You literally don't. So all you can do is trade the strategy and manage risk. And when you manage risk in a way where on the losing trade, we lost just under $200 here. And on the winning trade, we made, just under $300. So we netted $90+ in profit across the two accounts that on the winner compared to the loser. So we made more, essentially, simply put, a decent amount more on the winner and the loser. Now, when I say a decent amount more, you might think, hey, $90 is okay, big shit. Yeah, it is not much, maybe for someone looking at it from this perspective, but I'm looking at it from now in a year, in 2 years, when my sizing is larger, 90, maybe it's 500, maybe it's 900, you know what I mean? 10x the size, maybe it's 900, which now is a big difference from just simply a small, risk reward, making sure I lose what I intend to lose and I make more on the winner. Simply, that's all it is. So I encourage you to track your data, simply, TradeZilla plug yet again, but also like, you don't have to, you can do however you track it. Track your data so that you can make sure you're doing this. If you're not doing this, you're putting yourself at disadvantage because you're not tracking, or if you're risking the same amount on the losers, that you're realizing the same loss versus the same win, you better have a better than 50% win rate. And I know I do not blow away that. I mean, last month it was 65, but the months prior were like low 40s. So I net average at 49, 50-ish%. So all I know is like, hey, if I do that, but I win more on the winners and losers, I'm going to be great. And this is exactly kind of an example of that. Now, secondary piece, before I log into the accounts in a second here, secondary piece, this is all done on my phone. I was actually at a chiropractor appointment, and I was getting adjusted, and I was waiting in before I went in, and I'm like, dude, I'm looking at the chart. I'm like, I set the order, for the break here for a buy stop. I put a buy stop on, I put my stop loss. And so it gets filled, and I leave the session, and I see, oh, my stop hit. I'm like, what are you going to do? But then I check the chart, and I see we're like literally right here. I'm like, holy shit, I got wicked out by like a couple of ticks. And this is still a good setup. If we break out, we want to get in. And as I'm saying that, I'm literally paying as it's happening. I'm like, oh, fuck. So now I'm going to the car. This is not a common thing, I'll tell you that. But when I get a good setup, I know I want to take it if it's still valid, if I can. So I get to the car. I sit in the car. I'm like, oh, shit. I mark it in on this candle. Literally on that candle, you can see this is like 12:10 Eastern time, that candle. And I got in at 11:07. This is in Central Time, so same time on that candle, literally So I'm like, oh shit, get in. I mark it in, put my stop loss under that wick now, and then set it for roughly like a 1.8 to 2 to 1 risk reward. It eventually hits, and we are Gucci. So happy with that. Ended up working out. Sometimes that's just how it goes. There were actually even more breakout setups to be had later on in the day, which is crazy because it doesn't always work that nice, but it did. So what a day. If maybe I was home, could I maybe have had a scale out here? I don't know. If I was at the desk, if I was sitting right here, maybe would I have saw the price action and been like, wow, this looks really good, move my stop loss up, take a chunk of profits off the table, and then just see if I can trail it? Maybe to practice and to improve on that. But when I'm on the go, especially when I know I can't like watch things closely, I'm going to set it, forget it, and that's it. I know for a fact that I'm going to make, if it works, more than I'm planning to risk here. So it is what it is. Now, on the flip side, I could have lost twice in a row because let's say that it fakes me out again and it had a little false push and then it sent to the downside. I would have lost 2 times, which I would have had a bigger loss day. But I didn't. Can't control it. So that's my, spiel on that and all that stuff. Now, this was done on the 1 of 1. Just got blinded. I'm going to pop myself off the screen so you can see it all. It was done on this account right here, which, by the way, is start at 25K. So we're up about $1,300. If you look back on this chart, 27,000 would have been passing phase 1. I was just about there, within like $20. I was actually unrealized. I was over that level, but I did not lock out of my positions. And then I had a trade. If you were to go back a couple of days or a couple of weeks, you'll see a trade that we had that we took a massive like $300 fee. So we, for no reason, literally no reason. It was so stupid. It really had nothing to do with the actual trade. The trade lost like 50 to 90 bucks, something like that. But I lost like 400 on it because the way that the freaking fees were and just, it was like $7 per lot, but I played a freaking crypto that was super tiny. So I bought a shit ton of lots, which made a massive fee. You get the point. It was dumb. Either way, we had that happen and I didn't end up taking the profits. So it is what it is. I tell myself, I'm not going to look at that and go, well, I'm over the profit target. So if I sell everything right now to realize my gains and take like tiny wins here and there, I could take all these little wins and then I'd be, profit. I'd be past the phase 1 or, move on to phase 2, but I wouldn't let the trades play out. So I would be playing because of the dollars and not just letting the trades play out. So I won't do that. That's kind of my situation. I will not do that. Secondarily, here's the 6K account. This one is in drawdown, by the way, right now, which this one barely got up into profit, and then it got nailed with the fees and everything, and it's been in drawdown pretty much the most of the time I've had it because I've been trying to attach trade copiers. I had some failed trade copiers. I had the fee situation. I had a trade that I was sizing, based on the way the copier worked. The sizing was off, so it sold my entire position when I scaled out my first position on the bigger account. So it missed out on a huge profit. So it had a lot of problems. Either way, we have not lost the account, but it's not nearly as close, or it's actually in drawdown. I would like to just attach the trade copier and have it work simply. That hasn't been easy to do. So we've been trying to do what we can with what we got. So that's that. So this account was the one we really originally started. I opened that one after the 6K account after to test the trade copier, and it's served its purpose. It's been great to test because I've learned a lot, and now I know how to use the copier properly. But we're waiting on some stuff. So 1 open position here, or I guess technically 2. 1 small one on Netflix, and then 1 on Bitcoin. But I'm moving towards going forward, taking all of my trades inside of this account are going to be non-stock trades. And then everything in the other account, which is this guy right here, will be stock trades. Now, this is a smaller account as of right now, but I'm in phase 2. At the top, I'm in phase 2. I passed phase 1. I have to make $600 in phase 2. When I make $600 in phase 2, which apparently it says I'm $417 the way there. I don't know how. I guess I do know how because, yeah, I'm up right now in terms of equity. Yeah, I'm less than $200 away if I were to close all my positions right now, but I'm waiting for them to hit take profits and whatnot. So we are close on that account to getting there. And if we do, great. If we don't, yet we don't. But my plan on this is going to be get to 10.6, make the money. They're then going to then I will pass. I will become a funded trader. Look at me on their $10,000 account. And then what I will do, because I'm using DX Trade here, the trade copier works with DX Trade. I'm going to attach a trade copier from this account, trade the same size, where my max risk is roughly $100 per trade, looking to make $150 to $200 per trade. Simple. I'm going to play that game on just playing stocks, day trades and swing trades. Actually, swing trades I can probably go a little bigger because of the time horizon, but roughly that's what we're looking at. And I'm going to attach the trade copier to a $200,000 account. So I'm saying this now, not going to be right away. I'm probably going to wait till like the 4th of July when maybe they have a sale. The plan is going to be to trade the 10K account like usual, but I will be trading technically with $210,000 on any stock trades, which I think is good because I'm not ready for that on futures or let's say crypto or commodities yet, because I just don't know. I don't have enough data. I just don't know. I know I'm good with stocks and my strategy works good with stocks. So that's what we're going to do. And so for a period of time, the larger P&Ls that maybe like next month or beyond, if we pass, there's no guarantee. If that's the case, the P&Ls will be very large. Am I going to be realizing a lot of that as profit for me? No, I'll be realizing like a portion of that as profit for me. The other portion will be passing, hopefully phase 1 and phase 2 of the next account on them. So that's the plan, but we're going up larger because it's time and I'm ready to go. It's been 15 months now or so of trading this strategy. And so I'm feeling like we've got this machine pretty nicely oiled up and good. I may not oil myself up, but I got the machine oiled up. So we're feeling pretty good about it. And we're going to let this thing rip and let it roll. So hopefully we get funded there soon. As we speak, we're slowly inching higher and higher as I guess the markets or my positions are going up. So there'll be further trade recaps to come. But that's the update. That's the trade recap. Technically, we're red on the month, but this is accounting for the $300 of fees. So from actual trading, like my stuff that I've been doing, I'm technically green, but the fees got me here. But that's just a blip, and we learn from it, and we're going to move on. There you guys have it. TradeZelle, I'll link them down below. Honestly, I should probably link the prop firms as well down below because I use them. And so far, so good. There have been some problems. I'm going to have a video, if I pass, reviewing my experience with support, with phase 1, with phase 2, how it's all been going. I will do that because, I have no, I might have an affiliate link, but other than that, they're not paying me to say shit. So, and that's how I want it to be. Because, the space is interesting, right? If I'm using them and they're working for me, hey, I try them, but be cautious is all I'm going to say. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.